Hey everyone, happy Thursday, July 16th. It's a little bit before 3 p.m. on the West Coast, and it's time for another market update. Well, as I'm sure you are aware, the war with Iran has heated back up. As I'm sure you've seen on the news, it seems like every day the news changes, whether there's going to be a new ceasefire or there's going to be new attacks. And right now, unfortunately, it seems like things are escalating. It seems like we're both exchanging attacks with each other, and there's oil prices have jumped to over $80 a barrel and so forth. So besides, like we talked about, the moral reasons why we don't want this happening, people getting hurt and killed, this also has a horrible effect on the markets because oil prices jump, and oil has such a big effect on our economy that the markets get very volatile. And right now, that's the case. So, not good to see that. We got to just hope that cool heads prevail and they go back to the bargaining table and get something hammered out. That would be the first step, and then really, once we get some sort of permanent solution to this whole thing, that would be when I guess the markets could breathe a sigh of relief and kind of move forward, knowing that we don't have to worry about new strikes disrupting oil and having things go backwards again. So not good to hear there. But we did get some good news on the inflation front. Speaking of oil prices, but with both the CPI and the PPI inflation reports for the month of June came in cooler than expected, and a lot of that had to do with gas prices. So taking a look at the CPI report, it was supposed to come in. I think the headline was supposed to be about flat at zero, and it came in at negative 0.4%. That dropped that year over year number to 3.5%, as you can see on that graph. You could also see on that graph that it jumped up starting in February, since oil prices jumped, and the headline number definitely incorporates that into the number. And then the core down there, which tries to remove oil prices and energy prices and food prices from the number, still hard to get it completely out of that, but that dropped down to 2.6%, and that was expected to be a little bit higher than that as well. So all good news there, kind of offset the war news. And then the other one came out was the June PPI report, which is the producer inflation. So the amount it costs the companies to produce these goods, that we consume as consumers, that came in at negative 0.3%. Again, lower than expected. And the year over year number dropped to 5.5%. And I think it was the estimate was supposed to be around 6.2%. So a big miss there on the positive side for us. Having lower inflation is never a bad thing. However, my worry would be that with the war heating back up, like we talked about, how long can we expect gas prices to stay lower? If oil prices jump and this continues to so the conflict continues to go on longer, then we could probably expect oil prices to continue to go higher and gas prices to fall along with them, which would then make these inflation numbers go back up. So at least in the short term, like I said, it kind of offset the negative war news, but in the long term, it's still worrisome because what's happening. Next thing. So where does that leave us? Nowhere. We had no change. So last week when I did the video for you guys, it was 6.68%. And today it is, according to this lender survey, the average 30-year conventional mortgage rate is at 6.68%. So it actually went higher to 6.75%, which was not good to see. 6.75, getting far and far away from 6%, where we were, right before the conflict with Iran started. But that inflation number coming down gave us a little bit of positive bump, and we're at 6.68% again. So definitely higher than we want to be, and so hopefully it starts coming back down. Next thing, just keeping it simple. Next big deal is the Fed meets on July 29th. Right now, the markets have that, I believe, about a 70% chance they do nothing. 30% chance they hike rates. That was actually at about 50 a coin flip a few days ago, but then these lower inflation numbers and some comments from Fed members kind of made the market feel a little bit better about it. And like I said, it's trending towards them continuing to do nothing instead of, which would be not as good as a cut, but much better than a rate hike. So we'll have to keep an eye on the numbers. And again, what's going on with Iran is going to have a big effect on what happens there. So if anybody needs anything at all, please don't hesitate to reach out. Otherwise, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Thanks a lot, guys.